Hello there everyone and welcome back. I decided to do a little bit more streaming with my time with Armada 2 since it seemed like it went well last time. Although let's be perfectly honest, the reason I had as much interaction and viewers for the stream was probably because GW Rules, as a reminder, a member of the Blood Bowl YouTuber League, kind of rated me and had like a handful of his community join me for that. So it's really more of a showcasing the game to them above anything else. And even with that said, I probably should have showed the campaign a little bit with that said. Either way, I'm going to try a little bit more multiplayer. This is a little bit earlier than it was last week, so I'm hopeful we can at least get a nice steady array of matches before it starts to die off. Because there was, what, 600 players before? And around this time, I believe it was around 400, but my warm-up game, or at least practicing test games, seemed like they were pretty good regardless. I just, again, am hating having an alt-tab like this, but what are we currently at? 420-ish. We're going to give this an attempt. I don't doubt we're going to get more matches, it's just a question of the variety is what I'm concerned with, is what I worry a little bit about. Either way, I was talking about doing a warm-up match before, but let's at least try something simple to maybe warm ourselves up a bit. Although really, is a slaughter fleet a good way to warm up? I'm half tempted just to play with more battle barges. It's like the simplest of the fleets that I actually enjoy playing with, since there's a lot of nuances to it still. Cause sure, it has ridiculous durability and boarding potential, but if I fire my torpedoes and macro cannons on the same ship I'm boarding, there's a lot of massive overkill on a target. So I kind of still want to prioritize spraying out my damage potential a bit. Never mind that this is a very slow and limping type of fleet too, so who knows how much issue I would have against Eldari if I encounter them. Either way, what chapter do we try as this time? I don't think I try... Did I try Iron Hands? I know per request I did Blood Angels, Dark Angels, Space Wolves. I did White Scars last time. I'm sure I did Salamanders at one point way back when, so let's try Iron Hands or Imperial Fist. Although Imperial Fist may not be all that exciting, considering they're like one of the main chapters in the campaign. But we'll go with it anyway. And then we'll see what we're up against. There may be a bit of a wait. I'm hoping at least we get some decent queue times. Since that's the one main reason why I do the YouTube videos, but even then, I could seriously just cut out this filler if necessary for the YouTube version. And in the meantime, I'm just wondering, I'm just gonna think out loud about this 6 cruiser lance fleet that everyone, at least for a time, has been using quite heavily. I don't honestly remember when's the last time I even encountered the 6 cruiser heavy lance fleet, but I'm trying to understand the appeal, and I guess it has to do with the critical hit chance maybe. Good rate of fire, I suppose, which makes it, well, without a doubt, the lance is the most powerful direct damage weapon compared to the macro cannons, I guess. Yeah, what is it? 32 damage versus 32 on the Prowl Lance, so you could quite literally chase your target down and you're almost sacrificing no damage potential. Hell, you're even doing better damage potential because this pierces through the armor. So for the purposes of direct damage, I could see the appeal there, but remember, the main strength of the Space Marine should be in its boarding, its means of crippling and demoralizing their opponent ideally. Which is part of the reason why I like the torpedoes as much as I do, because they are flexible. I get boarding potential out of them as well as direct damage for killing things quickly. And to a lesser extent, that's kind of what the launch base helps serve with as well. They're just a lot less reliable, never mind so much more expensive. And I'm worried about editing this fleet if I were to be honest, because I am currently queued with it, right? This feels like a mistake in the making. Yeah, I can only get 5 cruisers with at least hangar bays. But I believe what I think is the most practical, one what is it, 1 cruiser with carriers for both vision, protection from bombers, and boarding parties. And then that allows at least 5 cruisers with torpedoes. A little restricted in their vision is the only downside, which way back when I was focusing on playing the Asiani, the idea briefly was to use the Auger Disruptor Bomb to kind of blind the Space Marine opponent. And it seemed like there's a lot of merit to that strategy, so long as they don't have the Emperor's Tarot, I suppose, or other abilities to reveal me. But at the same time, if they're burning skills for vision, that is something I can take advantage of to a limited extent. But we have our first match, let's see how we start off. Space Marine mirror match, and I believe this is Raven Guard. I think. So now it just comes down to what we're up against. If we're facing with the 6 cruiser fleet, are we dealing with the double battle barge, which understandably would be the most prominent because it seems so much more simpler, doesn't it? You have less ships to control, they are slower ships, so they're not likely to go get themselves killed. And they have a lot of firepower, which any of the other Space Marine fleets do not really have going for them. Kind of like I discussed before, but what do I realistically expect? Because anything's possible. I don't know if I feel confident in my ability to keep at range, I would probably give myself more durability. Because Colexus Assassin is useless, and again, for the same reason with armor-piercing ammo. I don't know how likely I'm going to be in close range, especially with my lower mobility. Keeping them at arm's length probably benefits me more. Especially if they're cruisers and I'm lucky enough to get early engine critical hits to just effectively knock a ship out of the fight really quickly. Especially for encouraging a close range skirmish. This is a tough choice. I should probably play the long range game, since I don't have the mobility, so I need to have positioning. Whoop. Whoop. A nice treat to watch explode. I'm a little confused what that might mean. I'm worried. I believe he means that it's a nice treat to watch me explode. Alright. So it wasn't exactly what I saw in the first place. So 6 cruisers. Nope. They just did not run just yet. So this could be 4 carrier strike cruisers, possibly. And 2 frigates. That's kind of what strikes me, since what we already seen, with me trying to do 5 carrier strike cruisers. Again, I want to be careful. Okay, they are solid running now, so we got the intel we need because of that delayed stance, though.
At your command.
Otherwise, I would have assumed this to be 6 strike cruisers if I didn't have the convenience to distinguish what's a frigate or not. And if I were to be honest, I really dislike that little subtle feature as well. Even though you should be solid running a lot of the time with your frigate anyway. Because honestly, why not if they're going to be taking point?
You have seized a strategic area.
Since that does give me more confidence coming into this battle.
Hold course.
Otherwise, it's a question of what's a battle barge. That strikes me as a cruiser there. I'm seeing a speed difference here, so I want to say this might be a battle barge here. I'm not really counting how quickly they grab points, though. Now, shoot down the fighters. Oh yeah, that gives away it's a battle barge up there. And we know there's a frigate around. I just gotta be careful about getting my ship shot down.
To where we are needed.
Nope, recalled the fighters. Okay, that's fine. Waiting for possible boring torpedoes since...
Give us purpose.
Ideally, if I
Engines
can,
engaged.
I would like to kill the frigates off.
I am listening. At
And
your
I can
command.
kind of do that. I have the lock-on stance in extended range.
We stand
I just need to
ready.
be able to confidently hit this thing.
Halt advance. Enemy in sight.
Alright, so it's only a hunter.
Where shall we strike?
A potentially easy kill,
New vector acknowledged.
but at least only 2 of them been revealed, so I can at least keep others up at point.
We stand ready. Repositioning. Give us purpose. Halt advance.
Alright,
Initiate
let's
thunder
try and do
bombardment.
some damage. I have the extended range, I gotta be ready to turn. But at the same time, I'm getting free damage in on this. And that engine critical hit will help hinder their ability quite notably.
Moving to position.
The enemy has
Okay, what I'm
seized
gonna...
a
Okay, they
strategic
repaired.
area.
That's potentially good for me.
Show us the enemy. Hold
And yeah, let
course.
the point defense help shoot down these fighters.
We stand ready.
I burnt a lot of combustion gauge for that rapid turn, but I think we're okay.
Enemy in sight.
The fighters did their thing. Bombers sadly are kind of screwed, I think.
Purpose.
Since the strike crew... Well, yeah, the battle barge is also shooting them, so that's not as effective as it could have been. Maybe I'll shoot down some of the point defense that'll set up for something later.
Engines engaged. I am listening.
And I have the gas cloud. I'm gonna lose shields, notably, but... Point defense with no
Where we are
fighters...
needed.
These should stick a
Show
bit.
us the enemy.
It's when their fleets all together that can be a
Halt
problem.
advance. Initiate Thunderhawk bombardment. Boarding course critical damage.
So is that torpedoes? Nope, just boarding
Our
party.
loss cannot be denied. Boarding successful. Give us purpose.
So I am boarded, but that will be easy enough to deal with. And like I said, let's try and focus our boarding on the battle barge.
We stand ready.
And I have point defense thankfully to shoot down these.
At your command.
Sadly, couldn't do enough damage that I want
Our
to
loss cannot be denied.
the one cruiser.
Underway. Engines engaged.
Gotta be mindful. I want to keep boarding, but I don't know how useful it is gonna be.
You have seized a strategic area.
Teleport
Because I want to board you. I'm not gonna get it, truth be told.
power to engines. Moving to position.
I didn't get the torpedo hit I would have liked, so
Halt advance. Give us
get these
purpose.
guys engaged. I have defenses against the boring torpedoes
Where we are
now.
needed. Show us the enemy.
I kind of want to just kill
Obliterate that target.
the crew of this battle barge since it's so limping right now.
Halt
And I do have
advance.
fighters to help some.
Hold course.
Engine permanently gone, so
Engines
let's get these
engaged.
ships out of the way. The frigates are going to be good for contributing to damage, but
Stand ready.
finish this off for me. It's going to be hard to get dumbfire torpedoes in to finish it off.
It will be destroyed.
But I do have fighters still. That's good enough for me.
Underway.
Just one more salvo is all I need, and they are crippling my ship right now.
At your command. Give us purpose.
The crew is suffering heavily.
All power to engines.
Let me try and reactivate this, or at least give it more crew,
Towards the enemy. Full speed.
because it's taken me a long time actually dealing with these ships, and I need to kill them now,
We stand ready.
despite how close they may be.
Underway.
Actually, let me just take these boring torpedoes.
Vector acknowledged.
There.
Moving to position.
You have accumulated 25% of strategic.
They are taking their sweet time dying. I need to kill them.
Redirecting. Repositioning.
Sure, my bombardment can't... They have heavy armor and I don't have my armor-piercing ammo, which is probably why I'm losing this bout.
Hold course.
Dang it, I did not want Cold Arms action. I wanted to do to honor the chapter, but...
At your command. Where shall we strike?
Kill the flagship, ideally.
Speed.
Especially since this thing is limping and limited on where it can go.
Moving to position.
Plasma bomb was a little unnecessary, I guess, but
Give us purpose.
we have 3 points. I think we actually dealt with them
Where
all.
we are needed.
Did I actually kill the one cruiser that was in the gas cloud, or is it just hiding?
Halt advance. We stand ready.
And can you get out in time?
Boarding cause critical damage.
Almost. Latency may have made the difference there, if only just barely.
Denied. Engines engaged.
Now just shoot down the boring torpedoes.
Underway. Boarding
Now-
successful.
Let's get ready to kill our target here.
Engines engaged.
Although, oh, your combustion gauge is completely spent. I was wondering why you weren't activating at all.
Give us purpose.
Alright, never mind. This thing's already limping. I don't need to try and destroy
At
it.
your command.
But there should be something hiding
Moving to
still.
position.
At least there was down this gas cloud. It remains to be seen if it is still. Nope, just a hunter. So apparently, I killed one. If I had to guess, I killed one of the cruisers incredibly quick. To my surprise. I figured it actually just repaired his engines and then just continued to fight there.
Where shall we strike?
Since I'm not seeing anything else right now. But I think we're golden.
Setting priority target.
We do need to make sure this thing dies still, because it is likely to get reactivated in a moment, once this hunter gets close.
Strategic points.
Okay, problem solved there. Wow, I guess we did destroy one of the strike cruisers. I thought it was a lot closer than it may have actually was. And even then, that was a lot of boarding damage done to me. I didn't... This sadly was brand new Space Marine fleet. But that was still a tense match. It just makes me hard for me to revel in that victory when I see that. But that was fun still. I just don't know when that one cruiser actually got destroyed. I know I just damaged the engines. I dropped a plasma bomb on it. But we never saw it ever since then because it was in the gas cloud and I didn't realize we actually killed the cursed thing. It's a little bit funny. Otherwise, I hinted at playing Drukhari before. I don't know how well this is going to go, playing as Drukhari. Because they're definitely the most fragile of the Azuyani fleets, and my Drukhari fleet is nothing like all the 3 battleship type of variants. Especially with Impalers being so predominant as well. So these Blade Claws are likely to be a liability when you compare it to the benefits that the battleships have to offer. More hit points, a little bit more resilience to critical hits, but at the same time, they can be run down pretty well with a tenacious enough opponent, which is far and few between, I suppose, since a lot of players probably don't understand the complexity and positioning that's required for Eldari. And that's probably why they get so much hate as well. Hell, my Blood Bowl matches are very damn similar, I guess, since there's so much hate for Elves for a lot of the same reasons, in that you have to completely change your mindset as opposed to just beating up your opponent to death. That's likely not going to work in Blood Bowl, so it probably is going to revolve a lot more around the objective, and at least trying to force engagements that the Azuyani or the Eldari opponent does not want to take. But either way, I enjoyed this fleet way back when. It's just the honest question if it's still valid now or not. And hell, do I don't even need Disruption Bomb. Just double slow and see what we get. And I wonder if this is our same opponent or not. I don't want this to be a stream of nothing but the same adversary. Especially if I'm just going to frustrate them to death. That's what I worry for as well. Either way, what do we get? What do we get? Okay, Necron 90 Luffy. I don't know who you are, and that worries me a bit, for a lot of the same reason that I said before. They probably don't know how this matchup is supposed to go, and I'm probably just gonna frustrate the poor fella if this turns into a stomp. And I don't want that. I want at least as many people as possible to be enjoying Armada 2, especially if there is a very real possibility of there being Armada 3 being in the works at some point. I want to have as many players around for when that release happens, to try and have us on the best foot possible. I do have a gas cloud, but it's a pitifully small gas cloud. The idea is, I would have loved to be in this one, if this was in my deployment field, because at least then I could have a handful of my ships in the gas cloud to conceal my numbers, and then it'll allow them to charge up their shadow field as well. Because remember, I said right off the bat, the most predominant fleet is the 3 battleships, so when I can hide the fact that I have more than 5 ships, the 3 battleships and normally 2 frigates, that helps us set them off on the wrong foot, I think. Either way, let's see how this goes. We are dealing with Necron, so did I even take the right upgrades for that? Yeah, this could be a bad match as well, just because it's Necron. Since I only have 9,000 unit range on almost all my ships, they can use their inertialist drive and just jump me immediately if I get careless. So I have to play this very cautious, because I don't know what I'm expecting here. And ideally I want to destroy their engines so they can't do that jumping shenanigans either. And I don't think I want all these frigates together. I want one to ideally spot. And you can just be the one to reveal and maybe just be annoying. It was 3 ships. What does this tell me? One is further ahead than the others. I'm sad I have these skills because I don't need them for this matchup. But hey, I guess it's a handicap, if nothing else. If I could somehow pull it off, even if it's a less experienced adversary, it's not too difficult for him to just jump on me and do a lot of damage instantly. So challenge accepted. And ideally, let's see, let's hold fire with you for now. Because ideally, I want them to jump on me when I'm ready to punish them for such a jump. Because then they can't react and run away. And if this frigate's out by itself, that does me no favors. Although I am in a position I could do that anyway, so why not just harass a bit. So this is a Horror. This is the one with just the broadside lightning lances, or a particle whip. Not particle whip, but lightning arc. I got there eventually with the name. Nope. Not very exciting damage because they can just regenerate, but I don't have much choice. But I am in a position where the frigate, if they engage the frigate, then by all means, engage the frigate. I have enough firepower to punish you. Now, we gotta make this work. Because that boost was probably a bad idea for me. But engines are down. Okay. Now we have torpedoes too. And the one thing about these Horrors, they do not have the Star Pulse generator, although that was still a bad angle. And I gotta watch where these other ships are. It's a terrible arc to even try and do damage to him, alas. But I want to kill these as quickly as I can at the same time. Alright, and that's where punishing misplays is so important. Because they got greedy, they wanted to deal with a single frigate, but everything else was basically there for them. Dang it! And sadly, I did not get my kill. Thankfully, I have a backup plan. There. The frigates can still do notable amount of damage. Just maybe not all that impressive damage compared to an, what is it? Not an Aurora, but the Hellebore. Ooh, they got Scourges. This is a bad matchup for them, considering I have the convenience of hiding myself. Alright, so a bit of everything for this fleet.
You have accumulated 25%.
And all my frigates are all together, so this could go badly. And yeah, I gotta remember their lightning arcs are always hit, and they do have tracking. So that can backfire. It did cost me my frigate immediately. Thankfully, I was quick to respond to that, and they don't have frigates. So maybe I can make something work here. Not very well, considering they do have a Star Pulse generator this time. It's a question if they know how to use it, though. Sadly, they do know how to use it, which is why I should have been a little bit more patient. I do get some hits, though. Now, again, I would like an engine critical hit to... maybe... Oh. Hold that thought. We got things hitting the gas cloud. I want to keep my distance. So maybe the stasis bomb is useful here, if only slightly. Because we know the Scourge is hitting somewhere in that gas cloud. And I have 2 objectives right now, so I want to try and get more. Yep, there's the Scourge there. So sadly they get to freely repair, but what I should be doing again is playing the objective game.
The enemy has
Force them out of their hidey hole.
Points.
Since after all, that is just a losing battle for me, unless I want to commit 2 frigates at least to be over there as well. Now they are regenerating hull, but again, I could steal points relatively quickly. I could just stay here for a moment, but I'm going to lose my shadow fields. So let's not get too carried away. Oh, never mind, they made that easy for me. I am being revealed though, so only downside about this. And I don't know, I need to watch for if the Scourge decides to reveal itself. So I think it's safe to just engage from a different angle. Okay, there it is. I can rest easier now, I just don't see the Scourge. Ah, dang it. At least it keeps my progress, so that's not a big loss, but still. Probably shouldn't have done that. Because time is of the essence here with these ships. Yeah, just demolish the Scourge. It's perhaps the least concerning, but demolish the Scourge. And get out of the asteroid belt, because you actually suffered a fire assault because of that. So I have 3 points at the moment, and sadly they're not targeting the ship I'm prioritizing. And you were not all that scary, at least. Okay, maybe with the Scourges that might be a different story. But, let's see if we can punish that. I am out of range. The fighters are going to be a bit of a problem, though. Because now they're killing all the point defense.
So much sweet terror. What aids the cabal?
So I'm gonna probably have to commit to the objective game. Well, because this thing is pretty much dead by the time these scourges are just gonna kill it. There's not much I could do about that. The only thing I got going for me is the fact that they burnt their Awakening Warrior, which holds their recharge, and actually stopped moving with these. They're not going to commit to engaging, so I don't even need to bother with that.
You have accumulated 50% of strategic points.
And I want to kill the Scourge. Probably not necessary, but with the Awakening Warrior, actually, I should tell them that they can turn that off. Because this is going to be punishing for them. Okay, so this thing actually survived. I'm a little shocked by that. Alright, we'll see if they know how to turn that off.
We shall slay them all. What aids the cabal?
We'll see what happens, cause this might be how it turns around for me.
You have accumulated 75% of strategic points.
How may I serve? What is your wish?
I don't think I'm still seeing it there, unfortunately, so I
We shall slay them all.
don't think this is gonna go well.
Our onset.
Ah. I tried to tell them, dang it, I really did. And yeah, I overcommitted a tiny bit too much because I did boost to try and get behind them, and again, that's a lot of the reason why the inertialist drive can be such a pain. The only benefit for me is they had no frigates to keep vision of me once I boosted away. So that was definitely brutal for him, although what skills would have been better? Venom Shard Bombs could have been decent at slowly crippling the crew and opened up a possibility to do boring damage to them. Since the Venom Shards, I believe, has it has unlimited charges. Since Disruption Bomb's not really needed because I already have Spear Crystal Lenses for the bugged effect, Stasis Bomb means nothing because they could just jump out of it, even if I do trap them. And for the same reason, the Dark Matter Cannon, since it doesn't do a lot of damage, and it's a mediocre type of slow effect. Rape Bone Reinforcement had potential, if only for like one shot. Yeah, Necron had basically a 15-second reload time, and this thing would only be good against one shot anyway, unless they have reload. So just using this just as I see him jumping, I could get value, it's just a question if it's worth it. And Mike Warp Jump, there's a possibility I could jump away, I just have to be already out of combat for this to be useful. So really, it's the Venom Shard Bomb, and otherwise I don't have much other options, if I were to be serious. Stasis Bomb has a very minor effect though. It could do something, if only just, if only just barely. It could slow down the fighters on like that Scourge, for example, which might have made a bit of a difference if I thought about using it like I did, especially with the plan against Tau. But since people, at least there were comments regarding how they liked my YouTube variation, we're going to commit 2, maybe a third one, into this Drukhari fleet. Just so that way you can have your YouTube video with the stream itself. Although, I don't know what difference there would be otherwise. Maybe the quality might be a bit degraded or downgraded because we're exporting from Twitch. That's a possibility as well. Either way, I'm happy to have different variations. I just feel bad because that was looking pretty bad for my flagship, just because of that misplay, and them having Awakening Warriors on just gives me so much convenience because it pauses their inertialist drive, their abilities, and never mind the fact that they can't even use their inertialist drive anyway. Nope, rematch. This is going to be a bit of a problem, but guys, I'm confident we're going to get some different variations. It's just making me want to switch my own fleet, just so we're not having constant repeats of the same battle. But this is one of the hardest matchups, I think, for Drukhari. A bit of a mismatch, just because how easy it is for him to jump me and just do full damage to me. And if they get engine critical hit, that really sucks. So I still welcome the challenge because it does offer a bit of a challenge for me. This is not going to be like a simple win, since we've seen how easily that could snowball out of control, but do I have enough space to conceal everything? I'm fine with the battleship being out in the open because it serves as a bit of a bait, just grabbing points. I just don't know if this will charge up the shadow field enough. We will see.
The Cabal is all.
I'm just hoping they're not close enough that they're going to interfere with each other's movement. Because I'm going to boost as soon as the shadow field's charged with the frigate, and that should solve my problem. Perfect. And that is why I like the gas cloud. It allows me to conceal my numbers, and speaking of which, we have no enemy fleet. And again, I forgot to change my skills, stupid me. Ah, well. I'll live with that. We're trying to do a stream, for crying out loud. And it's not like we had a lot of options anyway. Truth be told. It's just maybe the splinter torpedoes. I could have extended the range, actually, on the Drukhari ship. But spear crystal lenses is still pretty important for keep them from regenerating their health.
We shall slay them all.
Now, you're gonna jump over here in a moment. I want to try and harass it, but I think I'll have to wait until later.
You have seized
I don't want to grab the point, even though it may not matter. If my opponent's savvy enough, they can hear the boosting. And we'll see how we can get some free damage in, because sure, they can regenerate their health, but it's still free damage to an extent. I just need to separate these ships, though. This is going to be a bit of a long match, folks. I would say. Unless they mistake the Awakening Warriors again. And if I'm lucky enough to get engine critical hits, then at least enables me to do so much more. Oh god, that's a very ominous sign, isn't it? When literally one of the wreckage is a Drukhari ship. I do got their attention at least. Which might be good enough. Because now it allows me to play a little bit of the positioning game. I just gotta get what free shots I can and... Actually, yeah, free shots. Get the wreckage out of the way. And the frigates don't even pause. the regeneration anyway. I can't punish that, sadly, but at the very least, I can grab points from it. I just now wish I had extended range weapons to help a little bit here. Alright, get going. There's an opportunity to do more damage, it's just not going to be a lot of damage. And I gotta... there's no reload stance, so yeah. The skill of my opponent is definitely going to be a factor at punishing them. But we should be able to fire Shadow Lances on him still, at least. Can we at least grab this point, with them so far away? Because the positioning games and mindset is still applicable. I'm just getting a lot... it's a lot more forgiving for me, though. It's only catch. Oh, that was painful. I was honestly expecting them to jump the frigate there. I knew the cooldown was off, but... it's unsupported. I could do a lot of damage. I have maybe only a minute. Okay, take that back. I believe the stasis bomb is supposed to also slow down the beacon, but it may have already flew off.
The enemy has seized a strategic
So just get out of there, consider yourself denied the fighters.
You have seized a strategic
And we'll see about capitalizing on this. Yeah, you suffered a lot of morale damage in a hurry, didn't you? Now, how do we capitalize on this? With how separate the ship is,
25% of strategic points.
it's definitely something I want to capitalize on. I just need to get my morale up. And actually, we have... yeah, just get the frigates going. Oh. This is the best I could ask for. Everything is separated. I gotta be mindful of the Scourge's fighters, but...
The enemy is seizing one of your strategic areas. The enemy is seizing one of your strategic areas.
Now, let's try and do damage. We know they have the means to destroy my torpedoes, or they know how to use it. Or now let's make this hurt really badly. Okay. I think I damaged the deck, didn't I? Nope, it was just the engine, so... I don't know why that went as well as it did before. But that is one thorn out of my side, and the other two ships do not have star pulse generators. So I'm free to continue with the damage, although the idea was to separate you guys. So you're gonna be... oh god, is this really how it's gonna end? Just a random Tesseract bolt hitting my flagship in the stern? Not the stern, but the prow? That is not the way I want to die with the Drukhari. That is an embarrassing way to die. And this is going to be very dangerous. Actually, no it's not, I can pulse. Although those are bad torpedoes, the second and third wave, aren't they? Not if he turns into it, I guess. Ow. Well, I killed a good portion of his fleet, but damn. You can see how this can get messy in a hurry. Yep, there goes that ship. We're still in good shape at least, but again, I think experience is maybe starting to show a bit. Maybe. I was waiting for it as a star pulse generator. And we did not get it. Thankfully. Because that would have done a little bit more damage. It probably would have killed my one cruiser immediately. And it would have allowed for maybe these Scourge fighters to go after a second cruiser instead. Deck's gone. That doesn't really do much here, sadly. And fighters, I gotta keep in mind fighters will defend against these torpedoes. Even if they're out in the middle of nowhere. Alright. They still have engines. They tried to jump me and that could have been painful too. But I think this is over. I am sorry to my opponent there. We'll probably wait a little bit before we try again with Drukhari at least. Just an off chance we get the same person. Because these stealth tactics, stealth strategy can be really discouraging to them. But I still think the mindset was good. Just a matter of knowing how aggressive I should get. Since again, they could just jump me immediately, and that could cause all sorts of problems. So we'll jump from that for now and try something completely different. This is a good way to help give our newer players a bit of an advantage by trying with some experimental fleets, but dang it, Smurf Moose, however the hell you pronounce your name, I don't know the appeal for this. Because I don't have really... Yeah, the main strengths of this fleet is how accurate their macro cannons are at range. And allowing the Nova cannons to hit the armor directly. But when I only have a lance turret... Granted, it's 21 damage of lance turrets. I'm curious. It's only half a lance battery broadside weapon. So maybe, I was gonna say maybe that turret counted as like a full broadside. And keep in mind there's 2 shots for each one of these. Oh, that's a looter, mind you, so I guess it's half a lance broadside battery, I suppose. I'm just trying to think how to make this work. We'll give it a try, but when you compare this to the Imperial Navy's, do I even have that fleet anymore? Oh yeah, Dictators. I should have known the Tau would be involved. But yeah, the main reason this Dictator fleet is so, at least a lot more effective in comparison, is that almost all its main source of doing damage kind of ignores the shield. We have the torpedoes that ignore the shields and go straight to the hull, especially with the addition of the melted torpedoes. The bombers and assault boats also ignore the shields, although you're going to have a little more difficulty with the assault boats being useful, unless you can get good broadside or boarding in. And let's not forget about the final trait, the ramming potential of the spurs, which in all honesty, if the Mechanicus were allowed, like in the tabletop game, to switch on over to their Nova cannons to torpedoes, which might include a ramming spur, this fleet might have some promise. Only problem is they have more fragile crew, so they're not really wanting to get in close. And I am sacrificing a ship. And I'm nowhere near, unless I want to use a Defiance, on being able to get the 6 cruisers. That is also a bit of a thought. Do I want... Ooh, and at least can get 3 Gladiuses here. They are slower, but that might be good enough. At least a little more consistent with my frigates. They can all help whittle down the shields, maybe. But I'm wondering if I do want a Defiance, because what's the alternative for a carrier fleet? It's really just a bunch of Defiance, isn't it? And I believe I've seen a couple of matchups like this where they use all light cruisers. And with nine light cruisers, that can be terrifying. That is almost 20 fighter squadrons right there. 18. The only downside, of course, from then and now, they only have 2 charges to their light cruisers at the moment, so they run out of steam a lot faster. They're, of course, more fragile to critical hits, but they will a lot of the time be silent running, so outside of frigates and good sensor coverage, that's not a big issue. But the other big issue is they don't capture points really quickly anymore. Because what, 5 of these light cruisers, since there's a diminishing return to capturing points, it basically means 5 light cruisers still don't capture a point as quickly as an Arc Mechanicus. And it's almost 50% more expensive. It's almost double the points when you consider, let's see, 5 of these. So yeah, that's like 612, 15-ish. So yeah, that's almost double. 2 Arc Mechanicuses, and 5 of these can't even capture it as fast as 1 Mechanicus, never mind 2 of them. So there's some downsides to it compared to, well, even then, I kind of would like to play with more Dauntlesses with that said. Disruption Bomb, I wonder. Rad Tempest has unlimited charges. It's good for cruisers because they have less charges compared to a battleship. It ignores the shields. And I'm wondering if there's... No, it doesn't say anything about the shields needing to be down. Which I already know it does damage to the hull immediately, regardless. But I was curious if it would actually state that or not, like it did with the Maelstrom 40, the Eldari. Now, I could take down the shields once they get close, but I don't know. My strategy isn't really around getting through the shields or doing direct combat at the same time. I am considering the Mars pattern reactor feed. I think this only gives me the Nova Can shot and not the Eye of the Omni sign though. Since I'm not really going to have broadside weaponry, so what I'm going to do is probably just do artillery fire while slowing them down as much as possible. And to be fair, the bombers can do well later on in a battle. I'm just likely to be losing that battle, so it's not like I can benefit off it. Since there's less ships, less points, or less point defense. And maybe they might be encouraged to spread out. We'll give it a try. I'll jump back over to Drukhari after a bit. In case we face the same opponent again, but again, if they're using Necrons, this is just insult to injury, I'm just realizing. I don't want to be that mean. I'm a little bit worried now. How are we going to make this a fun match for our opponent? Even if it is a questionable fleet. We'll know in a moment. It is our same opponent. No! Say it isn't so. I want... We had some good variety earlier. We're almost... Yeah, it updated, so we're almost at 470 players on here now. We'll give this a try, but... This is not going to be pretty... Oh yeah, and I didn't update for the Gladiuses, which I guess isn't an issue. And like I said again, I'm probably just going to be more of a turret and do artillery fire. But we'll try and be a little moderate in my Novacan shots, even though Eye of the Omnisign is not really helpful in this matchup anyway. Actually, I'm positioning these guys wrong. Just go in the middle. I at least could deal with the Scourge pretty well, but... How do we keep this entertaining is what I'm having a predicament with. Because without a doubt, 5 Novacans is going to murder our poor friend here. Especially, and it's the same fleet too. I did not even pay attention. Well, It shouldn't be a pre-made fleet since the Scourge didn't even exist when Armada 2 first came out.
Hostile signature detected.
Okay. We're seeing something different now. Kopej, Kartosh. I'm pretty certain I'm not pronouncing them properly, I know. It's still a bit of a different fleet.
We are ready to serve.
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
So I think I'm gonna try to avoid using the Nova cans. Because this would make it way too easy, especially just murdering these two light cruisers. But none of these have the Star Pulse generator. I'm trying to remember. I'm pretty certain they don't, so I'm free to just engage and bomb them.
Starhawks engaging. Transition begun.
At least the bombers will be useful in this matchup, if I'm not going to use the Nova cans to make this a mess. And I'm just getting a range now. I realize I don't have the overcharge, I don't have the disruption overcharge, which probably is an advantage to try and keep this fair, even if they're not using stances right now. I know, I'm pretty certain they know how to use stances because I've seen them use it before. Since we've seen them using reactive hull when they need to repair. Let's see, those fighters get shot down. They should die pretty quickly because there's no scourges this time. Ah, dang it. I didn't realize that. Well, they have point defense, I suppose. That's part of the reason why that didn't work. We got some good lance hits in at least. The fighters are gone. Maybe I can save some of these fighters or bombers. And we'll do this slow and steady.
Machine spirit appeased.
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
We are getting shots in. They're invisible at the moment. How are we looking? How many bombers did we lose? 1, 2, 3. We lost all 4 of them, dang it. Never mind.
We are ready to serve.
I had hoped that maybe we'd be able to shoot those down a little bit easier. But I guess the extra fighter for each of those squadrons is making a bit of a difference, isn't it? And they just jumped, I believe. So I have the Omni Sign time to at least make them panic a bit. And let's see, that's a battle cruiser, is it? Yeah. So they're ignoring my shields too.
Receiving your order. Reroute power to retro propulsion.
Oh, that's the Shroud effect. Oh no, it was the bug. So they still have yet to use their dang... What is it? Their stances, surprisingly. But we're getting shots in. I have lock on. I just don't have the armor piercing or disruption overcharge. And I want to wait till they jump again.
The spirits obey. We are ready to serve.
Bomber should do some work here, and I'm about to pummel him in a moment.
Optimal course set.
Well, those bombers are going to kill it. So that works out there. Yeah, they only do 40 points of damage each, so I don't expect them to do anything more impressive. That's what I was waiting for. I am getting boarded.
Machine spirit appeased.
Now, just I Omni Sign to slow him down further, ideally. I'm okay with using the Maelstrom, since it is such a long cooldown after all.
Interceptors engaging.
And this should not work because they have a Star Pulse generator. I'm not going to reactivate... Well, I should it's about to lose its crew, so I'll save that for the rally.
Calculating vectors.
Good amount of damage there, but we need to capitalize on it somehow.
Machine spirit appeased.
The enemy has
And I am currently
accumulated
hitting.
25% of strategic points.
State your order. Hostile signature detected. Receiving
I
your
have
order.
rally up in a moment, so let's at least kill the cruiser.
Matchless efficiency.
Although engine's down, so this can bite me in the ass if I'm not careful.
You have accumulated 25% of strategic points.
Alright, one cruiser down. Now we have a light cruiser to bomb.
Engaging drive.
Now get the hell out of the way. They thankfully don't have the Scarab Swarm. But that doesn't mean they don't still hurt.
Heal thy wounded servant. Machine spirit appeased.
Flagship is likely gonna die in a moment though.
Course set. Reroute power to retro propulsion.
Since it can't really get away, but it's still... If it can at least survive for its next Maelstrom, that'd be great. That's probably all I could ask for. And that will seal the deal.
The spirits obey.
You have seized a strategic area.
I was gonna say, it had encouraging speech available, so that's out of the fight. We know it burnt its Star Pulse generator to do damage, so bombers away.
Vectors.
Even though I kind of handicapped myself to not use the Nova cans against this fella,
The routines active.
and at least helped to make this more interesting, I guess.
Engaging.
Because I don't need to tell you how 5 cruisers would have made a mess of this fleet.
We are ready to serve.
Although he still might kill one of them.
Engaging drive. Receiving your order.
Just a little more damage. And I don't have Kulex's Assassin. Oh, I do have Kulex's Assassin, so let's take advantage of that.
Successful.
And see if they know how to execute the crew. Because
Teleportarium vectors calculated.
they didn't seem like they knew how to turn off the coal arms. It's already over.
Maniple teleported.
This is already over. A couple more shots will seal the deal.
Odds of survival falling.
The enemy has accumulated 50% of strategic points. You have accumulated 50%
Alright.
of strategic points.
The bomber damage was impressive, but that's what happens when we're dealing with ships that don't have Star Pulse generator or really a lot of point defense to shoot them down. Although the fighters did give me a little bit of complication there, I won't lie, but I am wondering what to do next there. Because as soon as I queue in again, I might get the same opponent, and I don't want to make their day miserable. Although, I do want to play with this fleet more and try and figure out how to make it work, if there's even a way to make it work. But let me downgrade, or get the Gladiuses in. Again, it's more consistent, even though the Lances are probably better punch with their perfect accuracy and armor piercing. What did I think, though? Well, it's kind of easy for my bombers to do damage when the Necron fleet's separated. Which is, again, where the carrier ships are more powerful in the later game. Since by then, it's going to be a race for objectives, or we at least crippled a couple of their ships to make the bombers more impactful. And if I'm somehow able to get multiple fighter squadrons to maybe shoot down point defense, especially if the ship I'm targeting is at least not as well protected as the rest of the fleet, then that could set up for me just going all bombers against it, and not even needing a screen with fighters to get that little extra damage potential. There's also an option of going falchions, but I don't have melted torpedoes, so 2 charges of torpedoes may not be worth it unless I'm really going to commit to making sure those torpedoes hit, which means kind of going in really close point blank range. which is probably why I'm going with the Gladiuses. Although to be honest, I could go with the Sword and Firestorms if I want a little... if I want to be more lean, but I have the points already. So why not? Because all the Gladius and Novas do is give me more speed, which is never a bad thing. Yeah, Mecha Dominator, I kind of forgot about you. It's going to be tricky to destroy the deck though when I'm sacrificing direct weaponry though. You can be really damn good given the circumstance. Hello, hello, Denio. We're fooling around with some different fleets here. I'm trying to get some more Drukhari matches in. I'm hopeful our adversary, our Necron foe, gets a different opponent because I don't want to give them a hard time, ideally. I'm jumping back and forth between Drukhari and Adeptus Mechanicus, although upon realizing that I still have 5 Novacans with this dang fleet, I don't want to ruin our Necron friend's day. And I had a couple of different matches already, especially warming up. So I'm hoping we can get different varieties still. We'll know in a moment. If it didn't connect immediately, so I want to say they sadly got them frustrated, maybe. Or they found a different opponent, which for all we know could be someone even worse. There's no way to really know until we encounter them ourselves, I guess. But yeah, I am going to experiment with this dang 5 Dictator fleet. I prefer the Imperial Navy version because it has so much better synergy of a lot of its weaponry just ignoring the shields entirely. But we'll see what positives there are to this fleet. Which really involves it being more at range, if I were to be honest. But it should be nice and thematic, since we're just going to be hanging back and doing artillery fire with lance turrets. And maybe a couple of Novacan shots. As opposed to doing like a roundabout, trying to circle them and pummel them down with macro cannons. At least lances, Novacans, if they can connect, will be nice and thematic to watch. We just need to somehow set up the Novacans to doing the damage they need to. And then, depending on what happens, we'll jump on over to the Drukhari. Since I did have the matchups against Necron with them, and it was still a good practice there, considering how dangerous that matchup is for Drukhari. But I don't want to give them a hard time, which may have been what happened. And I had several different opponents before starting up, so I'm hoping we'll get to see some more, but it's part of the reason why I also decided to do my stream earlier, to help get a little bit better, well, at least not have as much downtime ideally. Since this should be the sweet spot for, what is it, when the Asians are still playing, the UK, it's not quite dinner time for them yet. Or at least, not UK, but Europeans rather. It'd be about 4 or 5 hours from this point for them. At least for me. Although I didn't realize it's already 12:40 or 12:30 here. So it's like 4:30, 5 o'clock for them maybe. And any opponents that we do have in here are probably in their match right now. So I'm a little bit worried to just look around at the fleet, because I don't honestly look at my fleet list here while we're waiting in queue. So I don't know if that messes it up or not. But yeah. The only other alternative I feel like to a true carrier type fleet might be a Defiance here. I mentioned that already. We could get 9 of these. Although they don't really go any faster than the cruisers, that's a bit of a problem there. They're slower to grab the objectives. And they only have 2 charges to their fighters and bombers, so we would need to be very diligent on trying to preserve these fighters if we're going to launch them and use them. Otherwise, what am I going to play as next after Drukhari? I think I'm going to play around with the slaughter fleet more since someone wanted to see more slaughters. Or rather a corn style type of fleet, I guess. And I think there is potential with corn. Maybe not as good as like the other sub-factions, mind you, but considering slaughters are kind of encouraged to get in close, at least they could take advantage of the broadside boarding as well as the bloodletter parties, I forget what the skill is called. And they can do some decent damage to light cruisers or even frigates really damn well with just that ability alone. And it has unlimited charges, so if I'm confident I can drag it out and not get myself killed quickly, that can work out well. Although, I always worry when the queue goes on a bit longer than I'm used to, or expecting. It's a lot of the reason why I am fine with doing the YouTube recordings more often. Which, we'll see if this Saturday stream proves me wrong, because this is normally when I'm doing my YouTube videos in general anyway. Around 11 o'clock. About an hour back, maybe. That's where I try to record them. And at least then the queues are pretty decent. But we're at that point, I guess, with getting really close to a year since the Chaos expansion with no updates, that it's kind of overstayed its welcome as far as like being stale, I guess. We need something if we're going to keep the player base going, sadly. And it definitely makes my job harder. Although, I know I have been playing some of the co-op campaign with my nephew, who's really into Battlefleet Gothic, and at least playing the campaign, so it wouldn't be the same, but there is possibility to maybe record or stream that, I suppose. And half the times I wonder if this is also bugged too. And of course, me posting that I'm playing multiplayer may even scare off some opponents. That's also another factor. As silly as I thought that may be. Either way. I'm just wondering what else I could do in the downtime, really. Because I can't even look at the other fleets is the problem. I could just look at this one fleet and I worry if I update or change it, that it might mess with my fleet I'm trying to queue in as. Because it does have that option for me to save after all when I make the changes, so. And let's see, I can only afford 2 frigates with this 9 Defiance fleet. I doubt that's the case. It's by far the most successful game they made so far. It hasn't stopped them before poor sales or performance, after all. It's just the personality and mindset I guess they have. Alright, so this is probably going to go badly, but we'll see what happens. Since what, we're dealing with a legendary ranked Imperial Navy player with this untested fleet. So this will probably go badly with my not having the means to do damage to them at range. Unless I can cripple their point defense, that might have possibilities. We'll see. It hasn't stopped Tindalos from making games after Stellar Impact, with Bunker Constructor and all that, I guess. So we'll see what happens. Because this is still the same personality, the same mindset as before with Armada 1, going silent, basically after the Tau DLC. I see no difference there compared to that, which is unfortunate. But we got ourselves a tougher match ahead of us. This is not going to go well unless the fighters can do work early. Which makes me wonder if I want to... Well, if I'm going to be turning inwards towards these points. I don't want to put my flagship on the side, because after all, that's not going to help a whole lot. I don't think the reactor feed is going to help me a whole lot here, because I'm going to be in the thick of it really quickly, and I'm probably going to get screwed over. Truth be told. That's what I'm foreseeing happening. I don't have enough close-range weaponry to justify armor piercing either. So...
Rouse the engines.
So is this the Grand Cruiser and one battleship type of fleet? I can't remember what the fleet was before.
To serve the Omnissiah.
Nope, that's the wrong fleet.
Thruster routines active.
I could have also gone with extended sensors, but
Machine spirit appeased.
I want to kill... Okay, it is an Emperor.
Interceptors engaging.
Can these fighters actually go and cripple the point defense here? And maybe enable bombers later?
Rouse the engines to fury.
The enemy has
Okay, so
seized
you're
a
just going to
strategic
immediately
area.
recall fighters there, so...
You have seized a strategic
Sadly, my
area.
own fighters are probably not going to do very well. Because what's going to happen is they're going to group up,
The Omnissiah.
and the point defense is just going to... Okay, Exorcist, so... And the rest are Avengers, I believe.
Transition begun.
But if I reveal them, that helps some. But I expect the fleet to just bunch up together.
Rouse the engines.
I think I'm just gonna... Because I can't remember, do Grand Cruisers get 3 or 4 charges to their
With matchless
fighters?
efficiency.
Because I have enough fighters to intercept,
The enemy has seized
especially
a
if I can...
strategic
Oh,
area.
they're just gonna chase after their fighters immediately, so that does me no good. As far as killing their point defense.
Calculating vectors.
Hopefully it could do damage. Now I gotta remember which one was first. Probably this
We are
one.
ready to serve.
Nope, that was the wrong one, dang it. I should have really paid attention to which fighter squadron was which.
We are ready to serve.
Because that's going to be important for preserving my fleet.
With matchless efficiency. State
Although
your
I'm going to
order.
recall them anyway.
The spirits obey.
It forces them to separate their fleet, that's fine. That was not what I wanted to aim, dang it. I wanted to cancel that.
Hostile signature detected.
You have seized a strategic area.
Now let's just keep them still for a time being.
Machine spirit appeased. Optimal course set. State your order.
Those were some terrible shots, I won't lie. I don't know why I ended up wasting so many of those, but it happened.
To serve the Omnissiah.
I thought I was right-clicking to cancel that, but...
Receiving your order. Interceptors engaging.
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
We are ready to serve. Reroute power to retro propulsion. Machine spirit appeased.
Alright. Get the frigates out of the way. I'm hoping to kill some point defense ideally, but we're doing a bad job controlling our fleet.
Engaging drive.
Okay, so you just rallied.
The Omnisire. Engage ancient
And
red
here comes the
lines.
armor-piercing ammo, and I'm probably just gonna get screwed immediately.
We are ready to serve. Reroute power to retro propulsion.
The enemy is seizing one of your strategic areas.
And I don't have Collect's Assassin, the fighters are not doing anything, and I need to start recalling them anyway, if I want my bombers to do anything.
Set.
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
Interceptors engaging. Engaging drive. Energize vectored thrust.
Now you have armor-piercing, yeah, I kind of already knew that though, so color me not surprised.
Weapons calibrated. With matchless efficiency.
And now I'm just gonna get run down, so can we at least kill one of these Grand Cruisers quickly?
The spirits obey.
Nope, bombers are not doing anything. I'm just gonna lose an abysmal death here at this point. Yeah, I already know the dictators are not a good idea,
The enemy has accumulated
because they're not gonna do their damage.
strategic points.
Reroute power to
I
retro.
kind of am already aware of that fact,
Calculating
but let's
vectors.
see. So that's down.
To serve.
We have a mutiny on the flagship, which sadly cannot do anything about that.
Hostile signature detected. Transition.
And you're a group ordering, I don't like that.
Engage engine red lines.
On the plus side, I at least can hit with both sides of my weaponry,
Receiving your
if only
order.
barely.
Transition
I just need to get in front of him to maybe not get hit by his main macro cannons.
to serve the Omnisire. State your order. Engaging drive. Engage engine red lines.
Yeah, I would have liked the fighters to have at least done some damage with to the point defense, but I don't think
The spirits obey.
it would actually done enough damage fast enough is the problem. Even if I were able to connect with those, because I need those fighters to be shooting down point defense by the very beginning, ideally.
Starhawks engaging. Rouse the engines to fury. With
So,
matchless
let's see, you have
efficiency.
Collectus Assassin as well? No, you don't. You just have the additional shield
25%
strength.
of strategic points.
And I was hoping to kill this Grand Cruiser, but it's not going to die soon enough.
Receiving your order. Thruster routines active.
And I did some terrible Novacan shots as well. For some reason, just right-clicking there.
We are ready to serve. Defeat probability at critical level.
So this is over here. Hey, it's still 83 armor after all. Especially when something's really close to death. But yeah. If that very first wave was a couple of bombers, and then, well, yeah, a couple of fighters just to distract their fighters, maybe that could have done some early damage. What I was hoping to try was 5 fighter squadrons to cripple their point defense at the very start. Which, you can see how easily that's deflected even with 4 fighter squadrons. I couldn't even I couldn't even shoot down that fighter squadron before mine started getting crippled to even do anything useful. So bombers could have... There was a window there where bombers could have done some damage though, with just 2 fighter squadrons to be bait. It would come down to timing with the fighters though. If I queue now, we'll probably get a rematch, and that's not likely to go well, but let's at least experiment with the early game, maybe. see how that works with bombers, assuming they're spread out again. What do we get? Alright, the rematch here. Let's try it again. So the main thing to keep in mind is timing, of course, since the bombers and assault boats are a lot slower. Yeah, one dictator and 4 tyrants is fine. Hell, you've seen my previous Mechanicus fleet with the battleship. Although the battleship can be tricky to maneuver with. That's the only problem there. And I'm pretty certain his angle's bad, dang it. I don't know why. But the frigates can shoot down. Yeah, keep in mind there were no frigates there, so these frigates should be trying to do some damage. And since I'm eventually getting a close range firefight, maybe I want the armor-piercing ammo. I could even get away with lock-on stance maybe on the frigates. So that way they can harass at further range. Although, do I? I don't have a mission. Okay, I do have a mission anticipator. That's probably not very good for me though. I'm just wondering how I can soften up the shields for Nova cans to even be useful though. Since I don't have macro cans of my own for long range to do that. So I'm kind of relying on the frigates to do that. I'm going to experiment a bit more. Let's get, as much as I dislike getting rid of armor-piercing ammo in this case, since we are going to be stuck in a close-range bout, maybe this might work better. So the frigates can at least keep themselves concealed, even with the lock-on stance. Yeah, what is it? Exorcist and all Avengers. So yeah, I'm aware of this fleet already. Do I have other ways to slow down? Mecha Dominator would be interesting. I need to guarantee I knock down the deck though.
Calculating vectors.
So this fleet's all together looks like now, but
State your order.
if it's the same fleet, then they do not have frigates, but they do have fighters.
Serve the Omnisire.
And they are now grouped up as a...
Engage ancient red lines.
Which isn't really a bad thing if they're grouped up, it's just a matter of how do I punish that.
Machine spirit appeased.
And the only way I can think of is by spreading out and grabbing points, but my fleet isn't really
Reroute
nimble,
power to retro propulsion.
and it certainly doesn't have better mobility than their fleet.
Receiving
So
your
fighters
order.
are not nearly as effective in this exchange.
You have seized a
Let's see.
strategic area.
450, 650.
Starhawks engaging.
We'll let the bombers go first,
Interceptors
and hopefully this...
engaging.
Chances are,
The
if
enemy has seized a strategic area.
if I do this wrong, the bombers are going to immediately get intercepted just by the
Torpedo
pathing
set.
of
Reroute power to
the-
retro
the-
propulsion.
the fighters, especially if they launch them early enough to defend the cruiser.
Receiving your order. The spirits obey. Calculating vectors.
I'm waiting for the fighters to be launched. Okay, that worked out decently. It's just a question, do the fighters live long enough to allow the bombers to do their thing? Is what I'm honestly wondering.
Hostile signature detected.
That's all I really want to know. Early damage is going to be important, but will it work? Because you know what's going to happen? Just boost at the last second to delay the bombers.
To serve
It should.
the Omnisire.
One bomber squadron got negated.
Your order. Transition begun.
And I did that wrong because I should have been further back with that said. But it's good starting damage.
Engaging drive. Machine spirit appeased. Reroute power to retro propulsion. Calculating vectors. We are ready to serve. Hostile signature detected. Receiving your order.
Alright.
Starhawks engaging. To serve the Omnisire.
I need to conceal this ship, alas, but
With matchless
we can still
efficiency.
conceal it.
Thruster routines active.
And they are hitting the flagship right now, so they're just going after this.
The spirits obey. Reroute power to retro propulsion.
Bombers. I'm successfully getting 2 bomber hits at a time.
Propulsion. Receiving your order.
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
It's not enough on its own, and we're going to be in easy pickings now.
Reroute power to retro propulsion. Rouse the engines.
So that's dead.
We cannot endure. Escort ship at malfunction.
Fighters sadly are going to just negate all my bombers.
Transition begun. Machine spirit appeased.
Unless I can shoot them down now.
Matchless efficiency.
I don't think I'm going to get to. Try as I might.
Spirits obey.
Nope, all my bombers are negate there.
Optimal course set. Reroute power to retro propulsion. We are
And
ready to
sadly,
serve.
despite the good early damage, the early momentum, I don't have a good follow-up now. And there is a frigate, but
Calculating vectors.
not a big deal
Rouse
yet.
the engines to fury. Thruster routines active.
At least if I'm out of armor-piercing range, that'll be a good deal, but I'm taking a lot of damage here, and this is about to break with no
Rouse the
deck.
engines. We cannot endure. Rouse the engines to fury. To serve
I can get out of the
Omnisire.
stasis bomb at least.
Rouse the engines. State your order. Transition begun.
Just a little bit more. Sadly, I burnt all my combustion gauge, but you are out. And sadly, the flagship is the Exorcist, so I don't think there's much I can do about that. Especially with 2 of my bomber squadrons spent. And now the flagship's getting isolated.
With matchless efficiency. We are ready to serve. State your order. Rouse the engines. Does not compute. To serve the Omnisire. Enhance rotational drift. Energize vectored thrust. Machine spirit appeased. Engaging drive.
Alright.
Interceptors engaging.
Where are my bombers?
Starhawks engaging.
I don't think fighters are going to do a whole lot, and I'm losing a lot of crew.
Thruster routines active.
Never mind that. My flagship's in a bit of trouble now,
Calculating vectors.
but that's not a huge issue.
Receiving your order.
The enemy has accumulated 25% strategic points.
To serve the Omnisire.
Flagship's about to suffer a cruel fate, but let's see if we can make this work.
Target on screens. With matchless efficiency. Engage ancient red lines.
You have accumulated 25% of strategic points.
Now I don't have a Coexus Assassin, sadly.
Spirits obey.
And armor-piercing round is going to slowly kill off my flagship.
We are ready to serve. Starhawks engaging.
But this may be the window I want.
Starhawks engaging. Machine spirit appeased.
Kill the engines, please.
Thruster routines active. State your order.
Alright. So now this is where the carrier ships can become stronger. It can be.
Engaging drive. Rouse the
I just gotta watch my combustion gauge. You're out. 2 of them are out.
Receiving your order. To serve the Omnisire. Optimal course set.
So if I can get my bombers back up, that'd be pretty good.
Ancient red lines. Thruster routines active. Rouse the engines to fury. Transition begun.
Now I need actual bombers, which I don't think I have any more bomber charges, is the problem.
With matchless efficiency. Rouse the engines.
And I certainly can't fire with more Nova cannons.
The spirits obey. Machine spirit appeased. Reroute power to
So let me focus on
retro-propulsion.
killing the point defense, maybe.
Calculating vectors.
And ideally, I would like to kill the shields and maybe kill the crew on this thing.
Thruster routines active.
That's kind of what I would like.
Receiving your
Combustion
order.
gauge are burnt, though.
Reroute power to retro propulsion. Transition begun. Reroute power to retro propulsion.
I probably should have just fired Nova cannons, I guess, to be fair, but
Machine spirit appeased.
that did what I needed to.
The spirits obey. Machine spirits nearing dissipation. State your order. Optimal course.
Now, how many bombers do I actually have left?
We are ready to serve.
1.
Rouse the engines.
So that's not very promising.
Appeased. Severe damage to their corrupted machine.
I have to repair engines.
Matchless efficiency.
I don't have much choice in the matter.
Interceptors engaging.
But their engines are permanently down, so I'll be able to outrange them
Calculating vectors.
You have accumulated
just a little bit longer.
50% of strategic points. The enemy has accumulated 50% of strategic points.
Allied vessel destroyed.
And you should just burn to death, I'm hoping, from the fire. I just don't have my lock-on stance.
Optimal course.
Alright. We're almost there. History is being written.
Transition begun.
History is being made. I just... Well... That's game. And it won't let me type, dang it, even though I'm trying to type good game. Well, Smurf Moose, if nothing else, I really hope that is a highlight for you with this damn fleet, because I don't want to play it anymore, but it did get a win against... At least Hinduism was a legendary Imperial Navy fleet. At least he was legendary when I did a mirror match against him like the other week, I think. So be happy for that, because I think I need a break. But the bombers, well, again, those bombers are so much more powerful late game when there's not nearly as many point defense, or if I'm so lucky to actually shoot down their point defense. Keep that in mind. My fighters are able to do that. I just had no bombers to actually capitalize on it at the end. That's a bit of a problem. But it worked. It somehow worked. Now, I want to try and give one more real match with Drukhari. And I think I want to play with Slaughters a bit too. Now, I'm just wondering if should I queue now, because we're likely going to get our Imperial Navy opponent again. It's good practice, I guess. And since I am doing a different fleet, I don't see the reason why I shouldn't. Just a question on how to best prepare. But that was quite the win. That definitely got my nerves going, so it's the best kind of win. Although they either already got an opponent, which is likely. It's hard to really say, because we don't really know who's currently in queue. But let me see how many are currently on, at least on Armada 2. It hasn't updated yet. It's still saying 470 players. Tau will be interesting. I just don't get to play against Tau nearly enough as is, which is annoying. I tried twice with my 6 cruiser fleet, and I never got my Tau, or at least the 6 Tau cruiser matchup I wanted, to just see how that fares up. Although apparently Chaos can do pretty well against Tau, judging from my YouTube videos, if I'm smart about not burning my combustion gauge needlessly, and then having a stasis bomb handy if I start to get exhausted. Otherwise, I'm hoping for more matches. I don't want to hide this one gold mine of a victory among countless matches of like lower skilled, or at least lower admiral level opponents. Because that's definitely one you want to watch there. The unlikely fleet somehow pulling victory out from the jaws of potential defeat. Although, getting more aggressive with those Nova cannons and at least keeping them at bay is definitely key, since I would not stand a chance in close, just because I have less firepower and of course no armor-piercing ammo. Yes, Tau would have a lot of fun with Eldari. You're facing your heavy armor to them, you have repair drones, you just gotta be good at making sure the shields take most of the damage, so that way you're not getting bursted down really quickly. Because pulsars at the very least can still kill your engines or your decks really damn fast. And then you just got a giant floating paperweight. Now, I'm just wondering, I probably will do this match and then try with the Slaughter Fleet again afterwards. I think is what my plan is, and there we go, we got our opponent. It just comes down if I want to do one more Drukhari match, but it'll depend how this plays out, I guess. What do we get? Okay, so same opponent, different fleet. So is this going to be 6 cruisers? It might be metagamed or something. That's a possibility. Have you dropped the season? What do you mean by that? I don't quite understand. What do you mean drop the season? I don't know what the rating sheets. I'm confused by this question. If you're talking about ranked, I don't know. I'm just doing matches and all that. I got close to legendary rank in my last attempt to get that rank with not Drukhari, but Imperial Navy. Oh, never mind. You're talking to each other, okay. I was confused. I didn't know what to believe anymore. I'm so used to people talking to only me on these streams. Or me just talking to myself, that's a possibility. Either way, Well, the battleship's going to be given away no matter what, because it's going to grab the point. Do I have enough space to conceal my numbers? Although, that's the one downside playing with... yeah, just doing YouTube videos. Everyone kind of knows what my fleet is in general, so I'm not really surprising anyone. They kind of already know what to expect. And I controlled this wrong, didn't I? There we go.
You have seized a strategic area.
So we got what looks like to be the 6 cruiser fleet. So my torpedoes are not going to be very effective here, and I don't have any fighters to effectively deflect. Well, I don't think there's going to be many boarding torpedoes, but I have to hit them in the stern. I have to hit them where they can't just rush me down.
What is your wish?
So I'm going to have to forfeit a couple of points, or at least forfeit grabbing points with the flagship.
With all speed. What aids the cabal? Agreed. We bring death.
So there's not really much to say because I'm going to be basically looking for windows to do some free damage. I don't get much other opportunity. I don't even know why I took the disruption bomb, but I guess I was kind of suspecting maybe we would encounter some battle barges.
How may I serve? With all speed.
Now,
We move.
we'll grab this point in a moment. I'm not going to boost because that gives an audio cue.
You have seized
Unless it's the frigates and the obvious ones that they kind of already know where they're at.
With all speed. I see slaves.
And if I can get some hull damage, that would be nice. I don't expect to do much.
We shall flay them all. We bring death. We shall flay them all.
So just take our time here. I didn't really get a lot of hull damage, but what I need to try and do is not just immediately boost away as soon as I shoot or do my final shot, because that does give away where I'm hitting.
The engines scream.
And I don't want to try and do that ideally.
Slaves to be claimed. What is your wish?
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
Now I just gotta watch if they're gonna move or not.
Please you. Let the engines scream. Fear our onset.
Well, that was cute. I thank you for that, but okay.
Let us bring pain. How may I serve? What is your wish? Oh, failing!
Now,
No! I'll not perish in this cause!
can we at least get some engine critical hits? I would love that, but I doubt it.
The cabal is all.
So that could cost me a bit, but I need to do... this is annoying.
Agreed. We shall slay them all.
I don't even know why I'm prioritizing.
What aids the cabal?
Got some good hull damage, but
Coming about!
yeah, I don't have extended range. I kind of did not plan this out the best.
We bring death.
Just keep doing damage.
With all speed.
So, yeah, this is a bad window. I'm gonna get rushed down, aren't I?
From you. How may I serve?
And it is the Lance fleet. And I don't have the armor-piercing ammo, which is going to suck, but... Well, there goes your flagship. I hope you weren't in... I hope you didn't enjoy it that much. But... Alright, cruiser revealed. Dang it. Stop messing with my control, please. Is Group Wars rebelling on me again? And engines are down too. This sucks. Well, that sealed the deal for me there. All I can really hope is maybe killing their flagship. And there is a 2-minute mark on me, so... So if I could continue to do damage, that'd be nice. I don't think this is a bad position for me still, because I did deny them their main source of vision. I just wish the UI would actually shoot the one ship I want to hit. Because it's really finicky with Eldari for some reason. I don't have the points. I probably could try grabbing points, but that does give away my position and I can't do damage. Yeah, these are probably just going to die to death because of the Prowl Lances. So now I'm going to be blind as well, and my cruisers are not going to be able to do enough on their own. Although I do currently have 2 points, so maybe I could do something. Now I'm just waiting for this to get concealed, but I guess I'm not going to get concealed.
You have seized a strategic area.
We shall flay them all.
Is it possible for me to grab this point? Because I wasn't paying attention to what's hitting the gas cloud, and that's kind of what's going to be fatal for me. Yeah, you're just going to burn to death.
I will not perish for this. With all speed.
So, they're just going to run me down, turn around, so I got to be ready. Never mind the fact I'm already getting shot. So yeah.
What aids the Cabal? We bring death. Agreed.
And you were supposed to be grabbing the point for me.
How may I serve? Fear our onset. If it please you. With all speed.
There, so now I have clearance to run off.
Engines to overload. What is
And
your
you have your engines repaired, so... Frigate's still alive. If I had killed that, this would not be as problematic right now, since blinding them would be really important, but sadly, this is the one moment I wish I had the armor piercing for my scythe missiles.
engines to overload?
Not meant to be, I guess.
Let the engines scream. How may I serve?
Because destroying that flagship is a big deal for this type of matchup.
What is your wish?
Now I just can't literally do any damage, or at least the damage I do is not significant.
We move.
I really need to get the engine critical hits.
Let the engines
And if possible, the torpedoes when the engines are critically hit.
ceasefire. Savor their dread.
And boosting through them is not a good idea because they just bored me to
You
death.
have accumulated 50% of strategic points.
So let's see if I can at least deal with one of their cruisers while separated.
Unleash the dark.
Since I still have torpedoes, it does have crippled crew.
Agreed. We bring death.
And even then, they didn't actually grab the point, which works for me.
Your wish. Fear our
just facing right at me is not a good idea, since I can't do much about it. Well, torpedoes are going to help. And we know where the frigate is. So I want no excuses for shooting this. It is now priority 1.
The enemy is seizing one of your strategic areas.
Now, since I did a bad job controlling this, let's see what happens. Oh, your engines are down. That explains that.
The enemy has seized a strategic area. The enemy has accumulated.
And apparently my generators do not want to charge up. Why is that?
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
Why are you being stubborn? Your stealth is so damn important right now, and you're not even doing that one little thing. I don't know why. So yeah, that's unfortunate. Now this seals the deal. I cannot even do anything at all. So honestly, why did you not charge up your shadow field? That was really weird.
The enemy is close to victory by strategic points.
Maybe if I was trying to target the frigate, that would make sense, since you're slowing down to stay in optimal range, but that was really weird. Yeah, I had to play that more patiently, though. Since we did get the flagship, if I was able to pick off the frigate, they would be completely blind, and it may have been too little too late, but then I could have started picking them apart. And splinter torpedoes, I probably should... And like a rematch like that. I definitely need the armor piercing, but what would have been best? Because splinters work great if I can get all 3 of my cruisers to bomb them at once, because then they can't move for the follow-up shots. That's just a very risky situation to put myself in. Never mind the 25 armor piercing, which probably would have meant a big deal there if I had that on hand. Either way, I'll try one more there. We'll see if we get the same opponent or not. We'll see what happens. And has the Steam charts updated? It hasn't really changed, sadly. I was hoping to do streaming a little bit earlier to maybe get some, well, more variety of opponents, ideally. At least we're getting a bit of the more intense matches, I guess, with Indonesian bot, I guess. And we did get that win with the Mechanicus, so that's a big deal, if nothing else. Either way. From what I could tell of the queue, well, again, there could be opponents already in the match at the moment, so we could be waiting for them for a bit. Either way, I'd like to try for one more and play around with the Slaughter Fleet if we can get some decent queues for the next 2. And I'll have to play around with the idea of streaming a bit more to see if we can make this work and at least get relatively decent queues or not. Otherwise, I'm perfectly fine with doing the YouTube stuff there. At least it's more convenient, I suppose, if nothing else. And of course, unless we can organize it, it would require organization, but 2v2 is pretty much dead from what I can tell. The only time I've known that 2v2 has been happening recently is because it's been organized, essentially. And I don't even know how many of the viewers currently are actually able to play. even to consider the 2v2, but either way, it's another idea to consider at some point, I suppose. Other than that, what do I think of this fleet here? I really like the burst potential of the 3 claws. The torpedoes can do an absurd amount of damage if it can be set up. Of course, the fact that they're cruisers, easier to cripple, is a bit of a problem. That doesn't seem like an issue, since I'm playing cautious and passive anyway. It's just about when am I overextending is the problem. Okay, so we got our opponent. Do we get the same person or not? Same fella. What are we gonna get? Going once. Well, Space Marines again. Which means I should, at the very least, still consider experimenting with the armor piercing. Just to see how essential that is, because armor piercing for Imperial Navy and Mechanicus is completely different than that of the Spear Crystal lenses. Or the Spear Crystal Focus, what's it called? Blessing of All. 25 armor against 83 armor, or 25 piercings, really damn close to doing triple damage, as opposed to doing double damage for the Imperial Navy and Mechanicus. It is quite a big difference. And I probably should be considering it a little bit more. Because with a slaughter fleet that I'm probably going to be using next, if it's spread out, but able to hit the side or rear of whatever fleet has at least heavy armor on the prow, I'm still essentially doing double damage, even if only 3 of my cruisers is attacking them, because of the lower hit armor value on their side and rear. And I don't need to tell you how amazing that would be against orcs that have 50 armor on the rear. Triple damage with only half my fleet contributing. Does not seem like a bad idea. I don't need Disruption Bomb. I want the range to at least allow it to be safer for my flagship. And otherwise, not much else I could do. Aside for not get isolated. Actually, let's do the same thing as before. Again, because I do YouTube videos and this is the only Drukhari fleet I play with, I'm not really fooling anyone, am I now? And it is a 6 cruiser fleet, with that said. So the dream is to maybe cripple the engines of one of them early.
You have seized a strategic area.
So that way, I can basically have them out of the fight right away. Alright, boring torpedo variant.
What is your wish?
So I gotta watch for when that expires, the tarot, so that way I can immediately conceal this. Actually, what I should do is just have these ships intercept the torpedoes. And let's get the reload stance, even though I failed to pick a stance, with that said.
We move. What aids the cabal?
I do have Stasis Bomb as well, so maybe I should not be worried as much. Yeah, the Asteroid Belt is just doing notable damage because of the 50 armor. Alright. It limits my mobility or where I can go, but shooting down these torpedoes is going to be a big deal.
What is your wish?
Let's just not get boarded. Only exception is maybe I deliberately let one of these frigates take all the hits, but that's not even needed. Although I don't think that I meant it literally, dang it, but it's happened anyway. Oh, and it actually expires, so I planned that poorly either way.
What aids the cabal?
Ah, dang it, I was going to try and recall, or at least reinforce it so it didn't lose its service crew, but too late.
We move.
I did forfeit a lot of ground, but
The enemy has
Oh,
seized a
dang
strategic
it. Stop
area.
ramming yourself. There's mutiny in the control of my fleet. Actually, can I bait the... Yeah, let me bait them using the tarot against something that's not going to engage, maybe. If I can do that, but again, I'm doing a bad job controlling this now. And since they're all revealed, I can get some free shots on them. I just gotta keep the brace for impact and the rest of my fleet handy, I guess, in case this thing does get revealed. What are your upgrades? Oh, and I gotta keep in mind that there is likely a frigate around too. With 6 cruisers, if they had a carrier ship, there wouldn't be a frigate around, but there's very likely a frigate. So I need to be mindful of that.
What is your wish?
So we're gonna try and reveal it.
We move. What aids the cabal?
And actually, yeah, I'll let the frigates just roam around there. At least start setting up, and there's the target again. Can we even change that? Probably not. Nope, Shadow Lances are hitting something else entirely. Go figure.
The cabal is all. We bring death. What is your wish?
So if they can get separated, that helps. The stasis bomb can actually be useful in doing that. And these cruisers are going to hang behind, and...
You have seized
Well,
the
actually, are they
strategic
coming
area.
towards me is the main concern.
With all speed.
If they come towards me, I don't want to fly towards them with that said. I want to get behind them.
Serve. If it please you.
I don't mind about a little bit of broadside damage though, but...
The cabal. Fear our onset. What aids the cabal? We move.
Well, weapons damage, that's fine by me.
With all speed. Unleash the dark. Fear our onset.
Now, I just gotta keep track of the combustion gauge. Since they have, what, 25 seconds of combustion gauge, and there it is again. My weapons are shooting at 2 different ships, which,
We move.
if they give me 2 engine critical hits, is not a bad thing. Let's be serious.
Shall slay them all.
Oh, engine's permanently gone. You are an easy... Well, I'm gonna consider that my opponent conceding on me, because of how this has been playing out for him. Because I think that's what actually happened. And apparently I have no... Okay, I was gonna say I have no rank now. Alright. Maybe not the victory we would have wanted, but it is a victory if my opponent actually conceded on me there. I just can't remember. Is that Alt F4ing or just disconnecting from the internet? I can't remember. Either way, time for a slaughter fleet. Emission dissipator, armor piercing. Well, it depends on who I'm up against, I suppose. And there is potential for the Bloodletter parties. I know someone wanted me to play Khorne, or at least want to see more Khorne. It just remains to be seen if this upgrade can be good enough to justify not having access to the Scarab Swarm, or was it Slaanesha's Promise? That we will need to figure out still. Either way, let's see if we get the same opponent again or not. Fingers crossed, folks. We do have a opponent at least, and despite me doing a terrible job timing the Emperor's Tarot expiring, that could, yeah, that still would have gone really well, because even then, my point defense would have shot down so many of their torpedoes. Although, I think it now glitched out. I don't know what happened there. Either way, let's try this one more time, I guess. Sadly, the queues are, well, we're a little sporadic. But let's see if we can get some more good matches at the very least. That's kind of what I want, if anything else. What do we get? What do we get? Going once? Oh, same fellas before. Shriner, and they're playing Siege, so they're gonna have the gas cloud to hide in. Which begs the question, do I want the beacon or do I have faith that my frigates are gonna be able to keep vision of them? That's what I'm curious about. Because I don't really have... Huh? Yeah, I don't have frigates that have a lot of durability. Okay, so that may have been a bit of a confirmation that they may have conceded that last match. At least I can rest easy knowing that they weren't watching the stream, because I imagine how at a disadvantage I would be. Aw, I guess it disconnected. Alright, so I apologize to Shriner. I just know that's something some opponents do when they rage quit out. But it was looking grim with the permanent engine critical hit. And actually I wanted to have two different fleets with that said. And we're facing Chaos. Is the Bloodletter parties worth it? Because I like my Plasma Bomb in this situation as well. Because what do I expect in the field? Is the real question. Carriers, despoilers, or Acherons? I honestly couldn't answer that. Because for Bloodletter parties to really do any noteworthy damage, I need to use it multiple times, and I think it has a bit of a long cooldown to it.
Set engines to full ahead.
Oh, that was the wrong fleet.
We'll follow your command. For now.
Alright, let's try this again.
Reporting. Moving to
And it looks like we're dealing with
coordinates.
Grand Cruisers.
We stand ready. We are unstoppable.
Alright, I feel like I'm losing focus a bit, so let's get ourselves collected.
You have seized a strategic area.
Because I'm
You have
wondering
seized a strategic area.
how many frigates we have to deal with here. Well, that answers that question.
Your orders.
Well, I know how to deal with them easily enough.
Engines hot.
Just make them lose their lock and work from there.
Slaughter. As the War Master wills.
Now get spread out so we don't ram each other, please.
For the War Master.
Actually, I might as well grab this point here. This is probably safer for me.
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
Oh my, that's unfortunate timing, I guess.
Set engines to full ahead.
Either way.
Stand ready.
Well, that's unfortunate timing for them. Because yeah,
Moving to those
let's see,
coordinates.
we were at least playing against the same Toby fella.
Enemy ship sighted.
And I gotta keep in mind I can actually outrun them.
Powers.
So I could just keep boosting forward. I'm just gonna have a hard time.
Retros
I just gotta be
activated.
smart about this, dang it.
You
Yeah, I don't
have
think I have
seized
the
a
speed.
strategic area.
I don't think I have enough combustion gauge.
As the War Master wills.
They are only fighters at least, so I have that going for me.
Retros activated.
But I don't think I'm going to be able to get out there.
For now,
Oh, never mind. They are bombers too.
show us our victims. We are unstoppable.
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
Reporting.
Yeah, I should have kept near the gas cloud, but
Wills.
this is going to hurt a bit. Especially with the convenience of them all going the same speed, so I can't really get at the bombers very easily.
For now. Your orders.
Alright.
Moving to those coordinates.
We'll condemn this to death, I guess.
To the slaughter.
And see about damaging these Grand Cruisers at range. The only thing I'm not sure about is their frigates for me to worry about.
Ready. Setting course.
Because if this could stay hit and is safe, that might help, but I need to be near gas clouds too.
Break them.
So we're... okay, they're just going after us.
For the War Master.
Oh, they're not even coming after me. Yet.
Engines hot. Your orders.
Alright. I'm doing a bad job getting these frigates in position, but...
Show us our victims. We'll follow your command.
the lucky early critical hits, dang you.
We stand ready.
And we can reveal them. I'm just almost in range, but
Orders.
probably too little too late.
Enemy ship sighted. Reporting. For the War Master.
Can we at least get the damage we need?
We've lost a ship. Moving to those coordinates.
Because those fighters are going to be a little bit annoying. And I just immediately got revealed. Which I guess is okay so long as I can block the shots, because it's not like fighters were still going to be able to reveal me regardless.
Engines hot.
You have accumulated 25% of strategic points.
Your orders. For the Dark Gods.
Alright,
Reporting.
deal with the bombers, if you could.
As the War Master wills.
It's going to be tricky to do, but
We stand.
we are getting good damage on the one cruiser.
We are unstoppable.
The enemy is seizing one of your strategic areas.
Reporting.
The enemy has seized
Can we?
a
We just gotta
strategic
keep
area.
hitting this thing, so that way we can get rid of their ridiculous fighter count.
Master. Retros activated.
Might be too little too late. I probably should have been a little more aggressive.
Moving to those coordinates.
Because even flying away like this, they can still
25% of strategic
pretty easily
points.
just keep bombing me, or at least chasing me down.
Victims. Repair my ship or else.
They getting 2 engine critical hits right away too, so
As the War Master wills. For the War Master.
probably too little too late there.
Setting course.
Yep, because there's nothing I'm going to be able to do about these bombers.
We cannot take much more. We stand ready.
Because yeah, engines permanently gone there, can't run, dodge, and all that.
We've lost an escort craft.
And they're not hitting the one ship I want.
Follow your command. For now. For the ruinous powers.
Maybe I should have been more aggressive and get close range, because I do have armor-piercing ammo, keep in mind. That may have been my big failing there.
For now. I cannot, Master. Show us our victims.
Let's see. Kill this one cruiser for me, please. And work from there.
For the ruinous powers. Reloading.
And actually, point defense could deal with them easily enough, hopefully. And apparently I didn't even prioritize all the components either.
Master Wells. Boarding attack successful, Master. Setting course.
Oh, engines are gone, so that flagship is as good as dead right now.
Your orders.
And not quite close enough for an armor piercing either.
Stop them out. Our minions rampage through their ship. Setting course. Retros activated. Your orders. We stand ready.
So if we can kill that,
Moving to those coordinates.
we didn't even prioritize the components, so I really am sloppy on this mission or battle.
To the slaughter.
Now,
We'll follow your command. For now.
can
Enemy is seizing one of your
I would like to force
strategic
that to
areas.
mutiny, but I don't think I could kill a deck to make it worth doing.
Force our victims.
And I see that group order, dang you.
Engines hot. For the war, Master. Moving to those coordinates. Show us our victims. As the War Master wills. Your
Yeah,
orders.
that's just going to immediately execute his crew, so
Setting course.
if I could get more boarding damage, that'd be good, but
Departing.
don't think I could do enough boarding damage. With that
Follow your
said,
command. For now.
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
Your orders.
your engine's down.
For the ruinous powers. We stand ready.
I don't really have any engines left.
Coordinates. Adjusting rotation.
Actually, can we kill this thing now?
For the War Master.
I don't think it's enough damage without hurting me that much more. Oh, I double rammed it. That's unfortunate.
For now. We are unstoppable. Retros activated. Switch to silent running. Show
And the
us our
flagship's about to die, so that's going to force a mutiny on
The
this
enemy
poor
has
ship.
accumulated 75% of strategic
So,
points.
more of the story there, I should have gotten more aggressive. I just immediately can murder this fleet by getting in their face.
The ruinous powers.
It's
As the War Master
probably what
wills.
happened there most. The OP fleet. I would argue carrier fleets are easy to deal with. I just don't have
The
the
enemy
one
is close
simple
to
way to deal with
victory
them.
strategic points.
Because all I really had to do, if for any other fleet basically, I just have to have my cruisers and frigates intercept the bombers if I really need to kill those things quickly. While they chase after their target essentially. With 600 movement speed, that's a bit more problematic, but again, I should have been more aggressive. I had stasis bomb to even buy me more time, so yeah, I played that matchup poorly. That fleet's not overpowered, I just execute that abysmally. Especially if I can dive them while their fighters and bombers are on cooldown or deployed. If I'm able to do that somehow, that really hinders their ability. Aw, not the same fella. I really want to try for that rematch. Otherwise, what was my strategy there? Well, it was just trying to play slow and cautious. Since for most other fleets, I don't really have the close range firepower compared to theirs. If it was like Imperial Navy or TOW or something like that, I would need to be very careful. Although Chaos, I have the better firepower, so that's a lot of the reason why I should have been more aggressive. I just gotta commit with it more because it's like 3-second rate of fire, essentially. Alright. I'll stick with the armor-piercing ammo. I will need to keep in mind what their fleet is. That will be important to dictate this. But again, I should be the aggressor, dang it.
Set engines to full ahead.
And what are we up against? Well, I probably should just go for a deck, since engines don't do me a lot of good unless he runs for me a lot. And again, I did a terrible job prioritizing components anyway. So that's probably not doing me any favors either. Alright, devastation.
We stand ready.
Simple enough. Devastation, or whatever the battlecruiser variant is called, I forget. How about I just not get revealed? How does that sound?
You have seized a strategic area. You have seized a strategic area.
For the War Master.
Now let's keep an eye out for more fighters being launched, perhaps.
For the ruinous powers.
Although I don't see the fighters anymore, so I have no idea where they're at due to that little visual glitch. Well, it could be a feature. Launching fighters in a gas cloud keeps them hidden.
Reporting.
Although that answers that.
Engines hot.
I want you to stay hidden, but let's not bother. And apparently they have multiple carrier ships. I just noticed the last one. Alright, so that's good intel. I burnt all my combustion gauge, so we need to be very careful.
Enemy ship sighted.
So hectates.
For the War Master.
You have seized a strategic area.
And a Grand Cruiser. Well, I have more speed than you, so
Show us our victims.
I just gotta get my ships in there, and okay, we're about to get harassed, so
We stand ready.
gotta watch the shield armor, so that way
Break them.
we could try
We are unstoppable.
and spread the damage a bit.
Your orders. Repair that damage at once. Retros activated. For the War Master.
Alright, everyone get on in. My ships are a little bit spread out, though.
Retros activated.
I don't think I timed the bomb, the stasis bomb, properly, though.
We stand ready.
Although, I'm still shooting down their bombers. Since there are only 2 squadrons as opposed to 4 squadrons, so it's a little more manageable, if only barely.
Your orders. We'll follow your command for now. For the War Master. Engines hot.
So just stay in your gas cloud, repair,
Reporting. For the ruinous powers.
and just avoid the plasma bomb, please.
Show us our victims.
And ideally, try and board. Well, I don't want to board the one I'm going to kill, is the only problem.
Stand ready. Setting course. Show us our victims.
And I have armor-piercing ammo, but
Your orders. Repair my ship.
there, that's more like it.
For the War Master.
Now let's get to reload stance with that said. Because now they are in full retreat. Again, I just would like to bomb something that's, or board something that's not going to die shortly after I board it.
Boarding attack successful, Master. Our strike team slaughtered them.
You have
Alright, one ship down.
25% of strategic points.
I don't have reload or brace for impact for most of them, but I think we're in good shape now.
Fear us, for we strike from the wall.
Especially since their flagship is isolated.
Let the galaxy burn.
So it just destroys engines, so that way it's easy pickings.
We stand ready.
Go to Plasma Bomb.
We are unstoppable.
Continue to bombard.
Retros activated.
And finish this thing off quickly.
Victims. Setting course.
And probably just switch over to brace for impact to help deal with these quickly.
Escort craft lost. Your orders.
And another minute till you're out operational.
For the ruinous powers.
Come on, a little more.
Moving to those coordinates.
Nope, assault boats are coming out now, so
50% of strategic
let's not make them
points.
easy to hit.
I cannot, master. For the war master.
In fact, just hide the gas cloud or asteroids. That'll work well for you.
We'll follow your command.
Now these should be dead. I almost don't even need the brace for impact.
Boarding attack successful, master. Engines hot. Reporting.
Alright.
For the war master.
Just stay together, let your point defense do the talking. I don't want to drop the plasma bomb because it's probably not going to connect or do anything noteworthy. Oops, although that ram was unfortunate.
As the war master wills. We'll follow your command for now.
Deck's permanently gone.
Show us our victims.
This is looking good now, and you're finally operational. So get into the battle already, you slacker.
Retros activated.
Otherwise, Abaddon or Karn may want to have a word with you.
Ready. Repair that damage at once. For the ruinous
Yeah.
powers.
Combustion gauge is about to expire, I think.
Orders. We are unstoppable.
Just run and gun all day.
Retros activated. Reporting.
And you're being lazy again. I think we're going to execute the crew after this battle.
You have seized a strategic area.
Finish him.
Reloading ordnance.
And now, time to clean up the mess.
Setting course. For the war master.
Although, are you permanently mutinied? Yeah, your deck's gone, so we can ignore you.
Master wills. Moving to those coordinates.
You're just going to burn to death anyway, I think.
Your orders.
And try as I might, the lazy cruiser that could is going to try and get glory by going after the one ship that
You
is
have
basically already
accumulated
permanently out.
75% of strategic points.
To try and get in Abaddon's good favor after this slacking off that we've been witnessing. I don't think it's going to help. Alright. So that probably should have been what I done for the last match. Although, the last match would have been a little more dangerous with the extra bombers. At least I wouldn't have the convenience of just picking them off. There's your lower skilled opponents you were talking about. You missed one. Dang it. Otherwise, it's 2 o'clock now. Let me try for one more match. One more match, I guess. And since even though it was short-lived, let's try one more with Drukari, I guess. Actually, this might be an opportunity to play with the Dictator fleet again. At least the field tested a bit more, I suppose. And then I think that'll be it for me there. I need to grab food anyway. It'll be interesting to see who we get this time around, though. Alright, going once. Going twice. I'm waiting for the mouse to freeze to know we got a full connection. There we go. Okay, I can't remember if this was the same person or not, dang it. I'm pretty certain it wasn't because it's a different portrait. Oh well, we're playing against more chaos, but if they're going carriers, then I hate to break it to them, I got the perfect defense against them. I have just as many weapons to shoot at them. Or just as many fighters. But honestly, what do I expect here? I have lance turrets, but it's not anything compared to their lance turrets, I imagine. That's going to be a bit of the problem. If my Nova cannons aren't going to connect, they just do more damage to me at range than I do to them. Since I don't have macro cannons or any other weapon to complement the dorsal turrets. I do at least have Disruption Overcharge. Advanced Void Shield could be useful. I don't know. We will see. Do I even need Disruption Bomb? I don't think I do. And then the pathway I go is pretty straightforward. Just grab the objectives in a nice little counterclockwise formation. And then we'll go for there. I'm wondering if I want a mission dissipator for the frigates. I don't know if they actually did anything in my match with Hinduism or not.
Transition begun.
But what do we have? 2 cruisers there. Maybe the flagship there, and then 2 more.
We are ready to serve.
So these could be Acherons, but...
Interceptors engaging.
Oh, I didn't want to do that, dang it. I want to launch bombers first, but this could still work. I should have been a little bit swifter to launch them, though.
We are ready to serve.
Because I'm pretty certain my fighters are going to get shot down before the bombers even get there. I was wondering if I launch all 5 fighter squadrons or just launch all the 3 bombers or not. And as a result to that conflict, I was a little bit slow to launching. Never mind the fact I'm starting to get game fatigued anyway. So that's probably a factor as well.
Receiving your order.
Either way, I'm going to reveal them before they get to the gas cloud. They're grabbing the point really fast.
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
Now begin the move to artillery. Into position.
You have seized a strategic area.
Hostile signature detected.
5 Grand Cruisers, okay. Bombers are sadly nowhere nearby, so I worry the fighters are not going to survive the journey.
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
Machine spirit appeased.
Trying to figure out which one to recall. Oh, they're already dead, so it didn't do me much good.
Calculating vectors.
Although I think I figured out a way how to... Yeah, just select these and it actually shows, well, when they're moving at least. It doesn't help as much when they're all bunched together in the death ball, fighting the other fighters.
Receiving your order.
But that's good hits there.
To serve the Omnisire. Thruster routines active.
Now let's at least kill the frigate, ideally.
Revere the Omnisire.
I have lance turrets to fire.
Calculating vectors.
I have Nova cannons to unload, but I don't know if this opponent will know the need to dodge them. So I might again withhold launching my Nova cannons. Because it wouldn't be good testing if I make this too easy for myself.
Optimal course set.
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
Although, my frigates are going to die really quick.
Retro propulsion. with matchless efficiency. Reroute power to retro propulsion.
Kill it. Kill it now.
The spirits obey. Interceptors engaging.
Where are my bombers?
Starhawks engaging.
Because, yeah, I was wondering why it only said I had 3 squadrons available.
Optimal course set.
I guess they were just docking. And sadly, I'm not going to be able to deal with those fighters. And they just completely passed each other too.
Hostile signature detected. Hostile signature detected.
So let's see.
With matchless efficiency.
I don't really want to obliterate his fleet. He's making it really damn tempting for me right now.
Reroute power to retro propulsion. We are ready to serve.
And just get out to safety.
Cluster routines active.
I'm okay with a rad storm though. Since again, 3-minute cooldown, I'm alright with that.
Successful. Machine spirit appeased.
Now,
Serve the Omnisire.
do some damage to this thing.
Engaging drive.
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
Engage engine red lines.
Alright,
Engaging drive.
good prow ram. Actually, that's probably a good idea. Let's try and ram since I do have the heavier armor.
We are ready to serve.
Kill them while the going's good.
Machine spirit appeased.
And let's keep in mind,
Begun.
I think I want to do some point defense damage to the battleship. There.
Transition
That's
begun.
one Grand Cruiser gone. I could take the hits
Utter the
of the next follow-up.
The enemy has accumulated 25% of strategic points. You have seized a strategic
Yeah, let's just kill the point defense on the battleship while it's kind of limping there.
appeased.
Let's prime it for death next.
Mortarium vectors calculated. Begin rearmament.
They are hitting me with lances, so let's not get too complacent. I do want to spread out this damage.
Power to retro propulsion. Optimal course set. Reroute power to retro propulsion.
Alright, point defense are not going down quickly,
In your order.
so we're going to have to try and fix that.
Calculating vectors.
There, now it's losing some, if only slowly.
Serve. The spirits obey.
14,
Receiving your
12, 11, 10, 9,
The enemy is
It's all over the
seizing
place.
your strategic areas.
7, 6, boost, 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 and boost out.
rouse the engines.
The enemy has seized a strategic
Because it's not
area.
there's very rarely a strategy to want to destroy their point defense
Engaging
before you go for the killing blow. It definitely requires some good foresight and hopefully your opponent allowing that to happen.
You have accumulated 25% of strategic points.
Now that thing is primed for death.
with matchless efficiency.
I just gotta be careful of how close I am to everything else.
Cluster routines active.
I'm waiting for everything to get recalled.
Course set. Transition begun.
Alright. They're gonna kill one of my bomber squadrons, but that thing should be all but dead. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
State your order. Engage engine red lines.
Everyone get on out. In fact, let's have another ram party, shall we? Okay, not as impressive a ram party as I wanted. But it works. And that has like no crew left, so I'm getting my money's worth there. Now, 6 seconds for the next bomber squadron. Finish them off.
With matchless efficiency, we are ready to serve. Reroute power to retro propulsion.
Alright. This is a wrap. They do still have the point lead though, since I've been completely ignoring the objective though.
The enemy has accumulated 50% of strategic points.
So they kind of have that going for them, and they're still losing point defense even with only 2 fighters. Kind of just harassing them. So that's something I'm curious about. How quickly do they actually lose point defense if I were to use fighters specifically for that role? That is something I really need to playtest a bit. Either way, even without the Nova cannons, that was a nice solid victory there. The bombers actually contributed. So be happy with that there. To whoever was interested in seeing carrier base Mechanicus. Although it was a little bit slow to start, we had some good matches. It was a little bit all over the place, yeah, less experienced opponent. I gave them a helping hand, both on being an not very ideal Mechanicus fleet, I would imagine, and I didn't even use my Nova cannons on them, so I think that was a fair enough trade to at least keep things interesting. Now, I'm gonna have to grab some lunch. It's already 2 o'clock here. And if I can get some good steady paces of queuing in, I would like to maybe consider streaming some more. It's hard to really say. We had some downtime there and a lot of repeat matches though. Some of them were really good repeat matches, or rematches at least. But thank you everyone for tuning in. Thank you for watching. I will see you next time.